Okay, I am Davida Pollard, and I'm here with a Mr. Curtis Brown of ASD Consultants, and I will be asking you a couple questions of how you became a worker in the construction industry. Um, so, how did you enter this field? What made you first come into this?
I'm a licensed architect, so rather than do design, I decided to do the construction side.
Okay, that's really good. So, with the growing of the residential building, what do you think is your biggest challenge facing all of these buildings going up? How do you think you keep yourself relevant?
Okay, well, we do only commercial,
Oh, okay.
and we bid a lot, and with commercial, you have to be bonded.
Okay.
And bonding is like an insurance policy that says that if you decide to do a job of any value, you have to be able to put up a policy to that value saying that if you can't finish that job, your insurance company will come in and finish it.
Okay.
So we only do commercial jobs up to 5 million, and then if it's unbonded, up to 35. So as far as staying relevant, we just bid. We have a real good estimator,
Okay.
and we just bid work and try to stay competitive on that. Build good relationship with the subcontractors, and try to get good project managers to superintendents
Okay.
to do the job efficiently.
Okay. So, how do you feel, or how do you deal with unsatisfactory within your company?
Unsatisfactory what work? What?
Yeah, not to say that there has been any, but maybe an instance where you're trying to get a deal going through, or maybe just some plans, and you have someone that's just consistently dissatisfied. How do you deal with that?
Okay, is it a customer or a subcontractor?
I would say a customer.
Uh, well, I would finish the contract with them as soon as I can, but I would have it documented very heavily while the project is going on so that we don't get any negative repercussions surrounding a project like that, because our philosophy is we are a company that happens to be minority. We're not a minority company, but with that being said, we know that certain types of negative press would have a greater influence on us getting work than others. So we're very conscious about that, and we try to manage our projects accordingly. And the best way to do that is to know the contracts, follow the contracts, and document it.
Right, stay very documented.
Yes.
Okay. And as far as safety measures, what are, how would I say this? What would be the main things that you use to stay safe in your work environment?
Every project we do a safety plan that talks about who the superintendent is, who the safety officer is. We have a map on site showing how close the nearest hospital is. Our guys are certified in OSHA safety regulations, and we follow the safety practices of OSHA. You know, not getting on ladders over certain lengths, not standing on the top rail, noise protection, hard hat, safety shoes, vests, safety glasses. Yeah.
That's very good. Okay, dealing with non-communicating, how do you deal with a worker that is just is unable to communicate on the workplace as far as coming in on time, or just always unable to finish the project correctly, and you just have no idea why they become that incompetent person?
Well, if they're an employee, of course, we have an employee manual, so you follow your disciplinary steps. You know,
Okay.
you give your verbal warning, then your warning in writing, and then you follow the process on out to termination.
Okay, so it's about pretty simple. That's really good. Can I ask, do you, how would I say this? Have you ever had to terminate anyone under those type of circumstances?
Yep.
Yeah, it does happen.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, often.
definitely. Okay,
And you have to have good paperwork with that respect, because they can go down to the Workforce Commission and make frivolous claims about why they were terminated, file discriminatory actions and so forth. So you have to make sure that that's documented
Right.
and that you follow your procedures and so forth.
Mm-hmm. So would you say that documentation is probably the most important thing within your company as far as staying safe legally and?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's pretty true.
Documentation and good contracts, really well-written contracts that protect you, and a good lawyer.
And lawyer, that's true. That's true. And how long have y'all been in business?
23.
23 years? That's very good. That's very good. I think that concludes this interview for today. The maximum time was 10 minutes and we exceeded a little over 5. So I appreciate you being able to speak with me. I would like for you to look over my resume. I had another interview earlier today, so this is the second time I'm having it reviewed. I appreciate that. I'm just asking if you had any examples of how I could put more things in there to accommodate someone that is in the consulting field. So if they were to see it, what would they be looking for?
Okay.
It is a very basic resume. It's not very padded at all.
Let me pull up my son's resume. He's about your age. He works for me also.
Is he the other card out there? I think it was Darren.
Darian?
Darian
Yeah.
Brown? Okay.
I think Camille worked with him on a couple of his projects. He's doing superintendent work now.
I want to say that she did, but I remember a time when she went out on the site with him to see some things.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so let's see.
So he has a professional summary. That's very good.
Yeah.
I like
So
that.
he goes with his expertise of what he's done. So you're trying to do, I'm still not quite clear on what you want to do in the profession, so, because
More
the
so office
terminology you're
management.
using, and that's, you don't have to be in construction management to do that.
That's true, and I somewhat see that doing it now. The reason why I'm getting into the field in this course flow is to get the most knowledge, because I'm not as knowledgeable of the industry, and because I want to be able to control my own workers, I want to be able to understand what they're doing and how they're doing it. But
All right, so your field of expertise, you want to say like project management, they have clerks. A clerk is the person who works with a project manager that does a lot of the paperwork, the submittals, the RFIs, you know those, what those things are?
no.
Okay. Submittals are when you're doing a job, certain things are specified. Like they say, we want wood doors manufactured by Mohawk, so-and-so, so-and-so. Or we want toilet partitions by Barbaric. Then you have to go pull out the information on that door or those petitions and give it back to the architect and saying, this is what you asked for. Those are called submittals. Then he reviews it and says, okay, and now you can go out and buy it and put it in the job.
Right. Okay.
RFIs is when you're looking at the drawings and you have questions. An RFI stands for request for information. You're saying, I have a question, so rather than call the guy and ask him, you put it in writing,
Okay.
and then he answers you back.